And last night, the illegal migration bill suffered a series of defeats in the House of Lords. I don't know whether it is such a disaster for the government, actually. I think in some ways it's a win-win because they can now continue with the line of attack that they've been using for months now, saying it's all the lefty lawyers who are stopping us being able to get a grip on the situation with the small boats. And then if they finally, which I suspect they probably will do, win with the Supreme Court, because they got 2 out of the 3 judges in this way. It's quite unusual to have a split vote like that. And then they can finally win in the Supreme Court and say we have. Or when, which is also very likely, Rishi Sunak can't stick to his pledge that he's going to sort the boats out, he can say it wasn't me, Gov, it was the lefty lawyers who ruined my clever plan to stop the boats. And so it's not surprising that I've failed in that
But
pledge.
I mean, the idea that the judge there is some kind of, mad lefty lawyer. I mean, he was just implementing the law, saying, look, based on your own policy of the human rights, which whether you like it or not, you are hooked up to and signed up to, then this can't go through. Now, you're right, they will probably on appeal get it, but then it's got to go through another hurdle as well, because you get the European Court of Human Rights where there'll be another set of legal ramifications. And I just sense with this, it's what the government must do, and we said this on Tuesday on the programme, is just go, do you know what? It's not worth the bloody hassle that we're going through. Exactly. And all this. Let's find another way. Let's find another more efficient...
But it will just be the same no matter where they go.
No, I know, Mike. I get that, but there must be another way than
Well, there might be another way, but the problem here is the judges haven't actually gone with what the British law says. They've made a judgment that Rwanda is not a fit third country. They've made that decision. They've chosen to say that.
Not all of them
despite the fact that the majority, though, ruling said that, despite the fact that the UNHCR is sending people to Rwanda currently from Libya, refugees, despite the fact that Israel have sent people there, despite the fact that basically Denmark and Norway have sent people there, these judges have said, nothing to do with British law.
And they sponsor Arsenal Football Club.
And they sponsor Arsenal, visit Rwanda, and you could go there on holiday for £300 round trip, but if you go with the Home Office, 169,000, the fact is that, they've made a judgment which is outside of British law. And all these, lefties who are saying that, they've just done what was in the law. That's not true, because the law's going to change anyway.
But it's an interpretation, isn't it?
Yeah, so... what they haven't done, though, is ruled on British law. They've made a judgment about Rwanda, which I think is wrong.
Well, they specifically were saying... They weren't actually saying that Rwanda wasn't a safe place. They were saying that Rwanda's system might allow some of these asylum seekers to be sent back from the country. Yeah, the on-fouling or whatever that's...
I'm giving you the short version. It's the same thing. They say it's not safe because they might send them back to their home country. But that's why they're saying it's not safe.
Yes, exactly. I'm just making that one because that is different than saying Rwanda is not a safe country.
Well, it's not safe country to send them to because that's not where they'll end up. Yeah. But my point is, that's their judgment. It's nothing to do with British law. They've made that
true, but it's also worth adding in, though, Mike, that the judge in that summing up didn't say they were against the principle of doing this. They're not saying, that you can't send somebody to a third country. They're just saying this specific country, rightly or wrongly, is not, at the moment, hasn't ticked all the boxes.
And let's face it, how many times have we said in the last weeks, months, possibly years, that they wouldn't be in quite this pickle if they'd actually got their house in order and actually processed a few more claims in the first place, so that it didn't feel like this swamping which is allegedly going on.
With the backlog.
With the backlog of people being processed. And we know, we mix everything up together. Some people are seeking asylum from persecution and they will have their asylum claims passed. Thing is now it's taking up to 2 years to do that. So then you've got all these other people, everybody's being caught up together and everybody is just going on and on about this. And I agree with you. And when you look at the small numbers of people who will be sent to Rwanda as well, you just think, is it worth all this effort? And not only effort, it costs money. It costs so much money to do this.
I think if we had a processing centre in France and we said, this processing centre is here, it's open to everyone and we'll process you over there, then the British public who are against the Rwanda plan, I think they'd be less against people coming over them because it's a case of, actually, there's a legal route for everyone.
But
at the moment, we don't have that.
What would happen, though, if you have these processing centres and they process people 10,000 a day and 9,000 of them get rejected? What happens then? Because apparently you can't send them anywhere.
Well, good question, Mike.
Thank you.